Imagine finding out that the person you love most in the world, the honest, upright man you married, is actually the city's most feared criminal. This is the exact nightmare Esha woke up to. For years, Esha believed her husband, Suraj, was a dedicated, honest IAS officer who lived to serve the people. But the reality was devastating. Police files revealed that Suraj was actually Dadabhai, a notorious gangster wanted by every police station in the city. Shattered and unable to sleep, Esha spent the night crying, haunted by Suraj's old promises to always stand for justice. As soon as morning broke, she went straight to his old warehouse. She walked right past his heavily armed henchmen, her eyes filled not with fear, but with deep betrayal and pain. When Suraj saw her, a faint smile appeared on his face, but Esha's cold silence quickly made him realize that their relationship was about to face its ultimate test. Esha walked right up to him and said, "I loved an IAS officer who wanted to bring justice to the poor, but today, the man standing in front of me is a criminal, the enemy of the law." Suraj looked down, took a deep breath, and tried to explain. He told her that he didn't choose this life out of greed, but out of helplessness, because the legal system had failed his people. But Esha firmly replied that the moment a person takes the law into their own hands, they become a criminal, no matter how good their intentions are. Angered by her words, Suraj declared that he couldn't change anymore. "This city knows me as Dadabhai, and that is my identity now." Realizing his husband was completely lost to the dark world, Esha begged him one last time to leave this life behind and start over with her. But Suraj refused. He couldn't abandon the people who depended on him, even if it meant losing her. Coldly, Suraj told her that if his name and the Mangalsutra around her neck felt like a burden, she should just break it and leave. Heartbroken, Esha pulled the sacred thread from her neck, broke it, and threw it to the ground. She told him that from that day on, they were strangers. She vowed to return only when he learned to respect the law again, and then she walked away. Suraj stood there like a stone, but the moment Esha disappeared from sight, tears welled up in his eyes. He realized that becoming Dadabhai had cost him the love of his life. He picked up the broken Mangalsutra, tucked it into his pocket, and warned his men to never mention Esha's name again. Meanwhile, Esha returned home, devastated. When Suraj's family saw her without her Mangalsutra, they were heartbroken. His father, Arvind, wept, wondering how his proud IAS son had turned into a criminal. News of their split quickly spread through the underworld. Suraj's biggest rival, a ruthless gangster named Raghav Thakur, saw this as the perfect opportunity to strike, believing Suraj was now weak and vulnerable. But Esha wasn't just a grieving wife, she was a police officer. She called an emergency meeting and declared that from that day on, Dadabhai was nothing more than a criminal to her, and she would arrest him, even if it cost her life. At the same time, Suraj armed his men, preparing for the inevitable clash. Destiny was pulling the husband and wife onto a direct collision course. The next day, a desperate, crying woman rushed into Esha's office. She begged Esha to save her young son who had been kidnapped by Raghav Thakur's gang. Esha discovered that Raghav was kidnapping children to force them into a life of crime. Without wasting a second, she mobilized her force. When Suraj heard about Raghav kidnapping innocent kids, his conscience kicked in. Despite his men warning him that the police would be there, Suraj declared that he wouldn't let innocent children suffer, even if it meant facing Esha. By evening, Esha's team surrounded Raghav's warehouse. Suddenly, Suraj and his men arrived in dark clothes, catching everyone off guard. Esha raised her gun, pointing it straight at Suraj, warning him to freeze. But Suraj looked her in the eyes and said, "I'm not here as your enemy today, Esha. I'm here to save those innocent kids." Before she could process his words, a massive explosion rocked the warehouse. Gunfire erupted from all sides. In the middle of the chaos, a little girl got trapped in the crossfire. Esha ran forward to shield her, but a criminal aimed his gun directly at Esha and pulled the trigger. In a split second, Suraj dashed ahead and threw himself in front of Esha, taking the bullet directly in his shoulder. As blood poured from his wound, Esha stood frozen in shock. The very man she had come to arrest had just risked his life to save hers.
Standing in the distance, Raghav Thakur smiled, knowing that this dramatic clash was only the beginning of a storm that would change their lives forever.